They're on the court together. Let's go. Let me turn this down. Caitlin's going to go into Jackie. She puts it up. She misses. She just dogged out 4 dudes to grab a rebound, passed it back out. One more time. Look at Jackie get up and get this rebound over these dudes. That was some dog shit.
The squeak of sneakers on polished hardwood cuts through the muted hum of the gym. It's a Team USA training camp session in Durham, a gathering of the planet's most formidable basketball talent, a symphony of athleticism where every note is a potential highlight. On one end of the floor, a sequence unfolds that, on the surface, is just another rep in a long day of work. Yet, for a certain franchise watching intently over 1,000 miles away, it might as well be a vision of the future, a flickering prophecy playing out in real time.
Jackie Young, 3-time WNBA champion, 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-W, 16.5 points a game, but that ain't the story. The story is 4.5 rebounds a game, 5.1 assists, 47.5% shooting, and she's only 28 years old. She just turned 28. She's going to be 28 all year.
Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom whose very presence rewires offensive gravity, catches the ball on the wing. The defense, a collection of all-stars and Olympians, shifts instinctively. She drives, draws the help, and kicks to a teammate. The shot goes up, clangs off the iron. In the ensuing scrum of elbows and effort, a blur of motion emerges. Jackie Young, listed as a guard but possessing the relentless engine of a forward, launches herself into a thicket of bodies, not just 1 or 2 but 4 larger opponents. With a combination of sheer will, impeccable timing, and raw physicality, she rips the offensive rebound away from the crowd. For a split second, the court holds its breath. The instinct honed in countless games might be to go right back up, to try and conquer the paint she just invaded.
Correlation, of course, gets a lot of good video. Always finding good stuff. They're on the court together.
But Young doesn't. Her head is on a swivel. In one fluid motion, feet barely touching the ground, she fires the ball back out to the perimeter, right into the waiting hands of Clark, who is calmly relocated. Catch, rise, release, swish, 3 points. No frantic hero ball, no forced contortion. Just 2 acts of high-level basketball intelligence. The relentless hunt for an extra possession, followed by the selfless, perfect read to find the open shooter. It's a 5-second clinic in winning basketball. On the sidelines and in living rooms back in Indiana, Fever fans feel a collective jolt. This isn't just a nice play, it's an aria. It's a glimpse of a harmony they've spent a season yearning for. And it raises a question, urgent and uncomfortable, that cuts to the very heart of roster construction in the modern WNBA. As the Indiana Fever stand on the precipice of a championship-building window, fueled by the generational talent of Caitlin Clark, do they have the courage to make the cold, calculated move? Should they let their beloved 7-year veteran Kelsey Mitchell walk in free agency and go all in to acquire Jackie Young? This is not a simple tale of good versus bad, or even of one star dimming another. It is a complex narrative about fit versus loyalty, potential versus proven production, and the painful calculus of building a dynasty. It's about what happens when a franchise's emotional heart and its strategic brain are pulled in different directions. The sequence in Durham was the spark. Now we must follow the fire. To understand the weight of this decision, one must first understand the players at its center. They are both elite, yet their excellence is painted in strikingly different hues. Jackie Young, the silent assassin. Jackie Young's resume reads like a blueprint for the modern, positionless wing. The first overall pick in 2019, now 28 years old, she enters free agency not just as a player in her prime, but as a winner forged in the league's most relentless crucible. 3 WNBA championships with the Las Vegas Aces, 4 All-Star appearances, a 2-time All-WNBA selection. Her base statistics: 16, 5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5.1 assists per game on 47.5% shooting are all-star caliber, but they are merely the outline. The color comes from the context. Young is a Swiss Army knife dipped in championship steel. At 60, she has the size and strength to guard multiple positions, to battle in the post for those crucial rebounds against bigger players, as Durham so vividly displayed. Her game is built on a foundation of profound, unselfish basketball IQ. Having played alongside Aja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and Kelsey Plum in Vegas, she is a master of complementary play. She knows how to cut without the ball, how to space the floor to create driving lanes for others, and most importantly, she knows when to be a primary option and when to be a facilitator. She is a connector, the player who makes the system hum by doing the hard, often unglamorous work that stitches possessions together. Then there is the intangible scent of victory that clings to her. She possesses what analysts call championship DNA. She has been through the wars, understands the heightened focus of playoff basketball, and knows the sacrifice required to win at the highest level. She has been Robin to a Ja Wilson's Batman and thrived, never causing a ripple of drama about touches or spotlight. For a young Fever team learning how to win, that institutional knowledge is priceless. And not insignificantly, she is from Princeton, Indiana. A homecoming narrative is powerful glue for a franchise building its identity. Kelsey Mitchell, the blazing torch. Kelsey Mitchell is not just a Fever player, she is an institution. The second overall pick in 2018, she has been the offensive lifeblood of this team through lean years, a constant source of explosive scoring and heart. This season, she averaged 19.3 points per game, a career high, solidifying her reputation as one of the league's most feared bucket getters. Her 45.6% shooting is efficient for a high-volume guard, and her ability to create her own shot off the dribble to heat up in an instant and carry an offense is a rare and valuable skill. Her legacy with the Fever, however, was cemented in the crucible of adversity this past season. When Caitlin Clark went down with an ankle injury, the weight of the franchise's offensive hopes fell squarely on Mitchell's shoulders. And she didn't just bear it, she flourished under it. Over the final 12 games, she averaged a staggering 22.4 points per game, a heroic effort that kept a sinking team afloat and competitive. That is not just production, that is loyalty, grit, and leadership manifested. She proved she could be the guy when called upon, and in doing so, earned an immense reservoir of goodwill from fans and undoubtedly from the front office. But Mitchell's game has a defined silhouette. She is, at her core, an isolation scorer. Her assists 3.4 per game and rebounds 1.8 are secondary to her primary function, to put the ball in the hoop. Her game is most potent with the ball in her hands, operating in pick-and-rolls or attacking one-on-one matchups. This is a fantastic skill to have, but it raises questions of fit rather than quality. Basketball is not played on spreadsheets, but on a court where spacing, rhythm, and symbiosis determine success. This is where the theoretical debate becomes tangible. What does a championship-caliber ecosystem around Caitlin Clark look like? Clark is a revolutionary offensive engine. She is a transcendent passer with limitless range, a player whose value is maximized when she has the ball in her hands, surveying the court like a chessboard. The ideal players around her are not other players who need the ball to be effective, but those who thrive by moving without it, cutting with purpose, spotting up with readiness, and making quick, intelligent decisions when the ball comes their way. They must be defensive-minded, capable of guarding the opponent's best perimeter players to hide Clark's developing defense. They must be willing rebounders to ignite her unparalleled transition passing. They must, above all, possess the cognitive speed to keep up with her visionary playmaking. Jackie Young is a custom-built fit for this role. The Durham sequence is a microcosm. She secures the 50-50 ball effort and size, immediately identifies Clark IQ, and makes the perfect pass skill and unselfishness. She's a defensive stopper who can switch across positions. She's a capable secondary ball handler who can relieve pressure but doesn't need to dominate possessions. She's an efficient scorer who doesn't need to dribble the air out of the ball to get her shots. She is, in essence, the ultimate complementary star, a player whose all-star caliber game seamlessly amplifies the skills of a generational talent. Now replay that Durham sequence with Kelsey Mitchell. The critique voiced in the original analysis is harsh but grounded in observable patterns. Would that offensive rebound have resulted in a kick-out, or would it have been a challenging put-back attempt against a forest of arms? Mitchell's game is predicated on aggressive scoring. Her instinct, forged over years of being the primary option, is to attack. This is not a flaw in her character. It is the muscle memory of a scorer. But in an ecosystem designed for Clark, those moments of ball stopping, even when successful, can disrupt the flow of the offense. It changes the rhythm from a symphony with multiple instruments to a series of powerful, but sometimes disjointed, solos. Furthermore, the defensive fit is crucial. A backcourt of Clark and Mitchell, while offensively terrifying, would be a target for opposing teams. Both are smaller guards who would be hunted in switches. Pairing Clark with Young's size and defensive versatility provides a much sturdier foundation, allowing Clark to conserve energy for her offensive wizardry. The calculus extends beyond pure basketball metrics. Chemistry is an alchemical mixture of personality, professionalism, and shared purpose. Here, a subtle but significant subplot emerges. During the season, members of Kelsey Mitchell's family made comments on social media that touched upon the overwhelming attention directed at Caitlin Clark's fandom. While these posts were deleted, and Mitchell herself has always been a professional teammate, such external noise is a factor front offices must consider. When building a culture around a franchise player of Clark's magnitude, minimizing distractions, both internal and external, is paramount. Drama over touches or spotlight can be a corrosive agent in a locker room. Conversely, Jackie Young's entire career in Las Vegas has been a masterclass in professional synergy. Playing next to a megawatt superstar like Ajah Wilson, she has never been a source of anything but solid, winning play. She understands the dynamics of sharing a stage, of contributing to wins without always needing her name in the headline. For a young Fever team with Clark as its undeniable son, a player who has already successfully orbited a similar star is invaluable. She brings a quiet, proven professionalism that says, "I know how to do this and I know it leads to rings." Then there is the relentless tick of the clock. The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement creates small, precious windows for player movement. Jackie Young is a free agent now. She's at the peak of her powers, a champion in demand. If Indiana wants her, they must act with conviction and financial force, likely offering a max or near-max contract. Kelsey Mitchell is also a free agent. The Fever have stated their desire to re-sign her, a move that would be popular, safe, and reward loyalty. But the safe move is rarely the championship move. Indiana's aspirations have fundamentally shifted. With Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and a solid core, they are no longer a team hopping to sneak into the playoffs. They are a team with a clear, open championship window. Every decision must be filtered through one brutal question: does this give us the best possible chance to win a title in the next 3 to 5 years? This is the crux, the agonizing pivot point for General Manager Lynn Dunn and the Fever front office. It is a choice between the heart and the head, between the beloved known and the potentially transcendent unknown. The case for loyalty: re-signing Mitchell. You reward a warrior who bled for the franchise when it was at its lowest. You maintain continuity and offensive firepower. You avoid the inevitable fan backlash and media narrative of casting aside a homegrown star. You keep a proven 20-point-per-game scorer and hope that with time she and Clark can develop a more seamless two-man game. It is the emotionally coherent path, the one that feels just. The case for sovereignty: pursuing Young. You prioritize the absolute best basketball fit for your franchise cornerstone. You add a player whose skill set covers Clark's few weaknesses and amplifies her colossal strengths. You inject championship experience, defensive toughness, and elite basketball IQ directly into your starting lineup. You get younger and more versatile. While you lose scoring volume, you gain efficiency, playmaking, and a higher defensive ceiling. You make the cold, calculated bet that the whole will become greater than the sum of its already impressive parts. The chemistry displayed in Durham was not an accident. It was the natural resonance between two high IQ players who see the game a step ahead. Young's ability to do the dirty work and make the right play is the perfect foil for Clark's audacious creativity. It is a partnership that promises not just highlights but sustainability, the kind of two-way intelligent basketball that wins in the grinding, possession-by-possession trenches of the WNBA playoffs. As the CBA deadline looms, the Fever front office sits in a war room where every whiteboard is probably covered in permutations. On one screen there might be a loop of Kelsey Mitchell jaw set draining clutch shot after clutch shot to keep the season alive. On another there's that clip from Durham, Jackie Young ascending through a thicket of giants not for glory, but for the simple winning act of giving her team another chance. The decision they make will send a reverberating message. Choosing Mitchell says, "We value loyalty and continuity as pillars of our climb." Choosing Young says, "We are ruthless in our pursuit of a championship blueprint, no matter how difficult the choice is." For the fans in Indiana, it's a painful privilege. They are attached to Mitchell, the constant in changing times, but they also dream of parades. They have seen the future's outline in the electric connection between Clark and Boston, and now they have seen a potential final piece in a rebounding guard from Princeton who makes the right pass. The beautiful, brutal truth of professional sports is that sentiment cannot guard the pick and roll, and loyalty cannot grab an offensive rebound in traffic. Championships are built on fits that are seamless, on partnerships that are symbiotic, and on the courage to make the unpopular choice for the greater good. The sequence in Durham was more than a play, it was a proposition. The Indiana Fever must now decide if they have the fortitude to accept it. The next era of Indiana basketball hangs in the balance, waiting for an answer.